Good morning.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, committee members, my name is Dr. Lorna Finman. I have a doctorate in physics from Stanford. I'm a CEO of a high-tech manufacturing and engineering business, LCF Enterprises in Post Falls. I'm also the president of the North Idaho Discovery Association, NIDA, a nonprofit private organization promoting globally competitive science and technology opportunities for students in Idaho. NIDA currently sponsors about 3,000 students in K through 12 and over 100 teachers in after-school programs, electives, summer camps, and competitions. We have successfully piloted technology in over 100 classrooms with laptop computers, robotic kits, and STEM curriculum. NIDA works with all types of students, gifted, alternative, professional tech, and at risk. We have also received multiple awards from the Idaho Educators Association for our support to teachers. I am here today to wholeheartedly support Superintendent Tom Luna's Students Come First plan of action for Idaho. The world has changed and there is a new economic, harsher reality. The U.S. has led in the past the world for a long time, and now we have picked up 3 billion new competitors, mostly from China and India. We are no longer just competing with our local community for jobs. We are competing with other countries for these jobs as well. There can be no more business as usual. Our system of producing a competitive workforce is failing, and it needs to be revved up, it needs to be changed. We need to adapt and increase our level of education quality and innovation like never before if we are to survive and prosper in today's world. I've been on the ground with the students and the teachers, and it's shown me one thing loud and clear. We are not tapping into the potential of these students and preparing them for 21st century jobs and job creation. I'd like to give you some examples of how introducing the technology into the students' education can produce very successful outcomes. We have one example of a student in Bonners Ferry. He was a homeless student. He had low grades. He could not focus. We pulled him into a STEM pilot program in collaboration with his teacher. We gave him a laptop so he could work at home. He became the best programmer. He went to MIT and interfaced on the space station. We had another student who wanted to go to higher college level. Online courses were critical for him, higher level courses to get into those colleges. We put a robotics lab with laptops into Lakeland Middle School. Without these laptops, these kids would have been inefficient and it would have been cumbersome. They could learn faster and they got the relevance of science and math. Students need options, business needs a skilled workforce. The choices are clear. You raise taxes in a weak economy, you'll face the anger of the voters. If you cut the budgets yearly and have budget battles, you'll have low morale, frustrated teachers and parents. Or you make the most of the budget you have and put it to better use to improve the product, the student. In my opinion, Superintendent Luna's plan is the only option that makes sense on the table.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lori? We have 3 vacant seats on the front row for those of you who are leaning against the wall, any 3 of you. You may as well use those plush seats. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm a mother of 7. 5 have gone on to higher education, 2 still in Boise public school systems, 20 years of homeschooling, and now trying a new track. I agree with Superintendent Luna that the best resource we have in our public school classrooms are well-equipped and well-trained teachers. I also agree that they should be led by well-equipped and well-trained principals who are not encumbered with tenure. I don't agree that the best tool that we have should be given up in favor of more technology. I volunteer in those kids' schools. What I've seen in them, I've seen multiple computer labs equipped with individualized programs for reading and math. I see smart screens, LCD projectors in each classroom. I see many portable clicker sets currently in the classrooms without a waste of money of installing them in every single classroom. I see classroom computers, teachers' computers, so they can access the internet to post grades for us to access. We do not need more technology at this point at the cost of less teachers. I agree we need to train students for the 21st century, and my kids as well. And how do we do that? Well-equipped, well-trained teachers that will develop critical analytical thinkers, confident learners that can succeed at any university or any job. Of course, I want my kids to learn 24/7. You don't need technology to do that. It is not prohibited if you don't have technology. My kids were studying for finals this past week, reviewing notes, finishing art projects, doing those types of things. There was no technology, and much learning was going on. I don't want to look at technology, the physical handling of it, because I have a son who's going to be in high school, and I'm thinking about his use with the laptop. Well, he's not right now personally responsible for a laptop, and I think that's irresponsible. I have concerns about a high school going wireless, because all of a sudden those iPods and smartphones just got a lot more fun for the students in school. I have a problem when you say that you're going to take this laptop home. Well, they have internet at my house, but what about those homes that don't have internet? Next year, you're going to ask us to lose more teachers out of the classroom, so now we can find internet in everybody's home. And once those laptops come in, then you also have a problem with all those current technology in the schools that have now become wasted resources. You're going to require my son to take online classes? Not a good idea. I have a daughter who took some. They're good for some students. The study that was alluded to, they have found, the U.S. Department has found, that in K-12 online classes, there's not sufficient evidence to say that that's a viable option. Please leave us with the options of deciding whether or not those online classes are good for our students. Please don't hamper our local schools with more state mandates in these areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wendy Horman, Maria Nate, Wayne Ross, Pat Bowler, Steve Smiley. I lost count. I turned the page. I'll see.
We've got 3 on that side.
Come right. Yes. Good morning, Wendy. 2, 3. I think that was it for my 5. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Wendy Horman. I'm from Idaho Falls. I'm a mother of 5 children, have served on the Bonneville School Board for almost 9 years, and am a former president of the School Board Association. Our board looks forward to reviewing the legislation that is forthcoming on this and taking a position. But what I can tell you today is that our previous actions speak for themselves. When it comes to online learning opportunities proposed, in large measure, the future is already the present in the Bonneville School District. We thank you for the flexibility that you previously offered in allowing us to spend existing money differently. We established the Bonneville District Virtual Academy. There are presently 126 students and 2 teachers. These students study at home, have a swim team, a ballroom dance class, a PTO, and many other elements of a traditional brick-and-mortar school, but without the brick-and-mortar. We also established our e-center, modeled after the successful Coeur d'Alene Bridge Academy. It is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and during the first semester, 326 online credits were earned. Though originally established as a credit recovery program, many other students now participate. Because our board recognizes that all of our students have unique learning needs and styles, we have discussed adding an online course as a graduation requirement. This proposal could make that desire a reality for all of our students, not just the ones who can afford it or the ones whose parents make arrangements for it. These are some of the reasons that we still have money in our reserve account. No teachers lost their jobs, no teachers took furlough days, nor did they have their salaries reduced. We kept all of our arts programs intact at all levels. We are serving more students at a lower cost and doing it in a way that works for the students' interest and for their learning needs. Next, rewarding excellence in teaching has been a unanimous goal of our board and superintendent for some years. From applying to grants to using federal funds to reward excellence, we have exhausted every option we could think of at the local level. Restrictions in state statute and the labor contract are obstacles that prevent us from rewarding excellence. We are asking for your help. Finally, the way the world learns has changed dramatically from the time when labor contracts were established for the benefit of the adults in our education system. Industrial-age contracts almost drove American automakers into the ground. Labor contracts with local school districts will eventually do the same thing,
30
except
seconds,
on a
please.
diversified basis, unless and until we provide locally elected school boards and administrators the authority and flexibility they need to nimbly adjust the system in a way that allows them to put students first. It's been said that we must prepare our children for their future, not our past. We look forward to reviewing the legislation that is forthcoming and offering further input at that time.
Thank you very much. Maria?
Madam Chair, committee members, thank you for this opportunity to testify. A quick introduction. My name is Maria Nate, and I'm from Rexburg. I have a long history of volunteer work with my district, from elementary school PTO president to school board member. I've spent countless hours volunteering in my children's classrooms. I've organized field days and fundraisers and carnivals. I've served on plant facility committees and chaired 3 local school bond election committees. I have served on state education task forces and local education task forces. I would call myself an ardent public education supporter. I believe in public education, and that is why I support Tom Luna's forward-thinking plan, Students Come First. Madam Chair and committee members, the way we do business in current public education is not working. In my limited testimony, I want to tell you of my experiences last year that I had while serving on my district's negotiations team, which were a result of some of the decisions that were made by this committee. It opened my eyes to the tactics the unions will use to further their cause. Albert Shanker, past president of the American Federation of Teachers, said, "When school children start paying union dues, that's when I'll start representing the interests of school children." I found out firsthand that the union negotiates for the best interest of the union, not for the best interest of the teacher or the children. I don't begrudge this, it's their organization, but let's be clear about who they represent. After multiple meet and confer sessions and a marathon 10-hour mediation session, my district finally settled with our local union. It was an awful, horrible experience. The contract was ratified, but not before the union leadership told their members that they would have immediately sued the district had we gone to due process. The district was forced to sell our soul to the union so they wouldn't sue us. Was that the intent of the financial emergency clause? I don't think so. I found the whole negotiating experience to be unsavory, regardless of what the IEA leaders said to
1 minute,
you.
please. 1 minute.
They never had any plans to be a partner in this process. They rallied teachers and parents to lobby the school board using misinformation and flat-out lies. I was accused of being heartless and hateful and not caring about teachers. I was constantly defending myself to parents. I am concerned about some of those same tactics that I see being used to rally their troops here today. I am concerned that much of what is being said here today is based on the distortion of the facts and fear-mongering being spread by the union to further their organization. Now, committee members, is the time for you to show your courage and do the right thing. We must move our education to the 21st century. We can do this. We must do this. Please examine the superintendent's plan dispassionately and rise above the rhetoric. I echo what Superintendent Luna has stated. The electorate demands it, the economy requires it, and our students deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Wayne?
Make this up a little bit. Good morning, Madam Chairman, committee members. Thank you for this opportunity today. My name is Wayne Ross, and I live in Meridian, and I earned my master's at Boise State in the teaching of English language arts. Currently, I'm a English composition teacher at the College of Western Idaho. I'm a former high school English teacher in the Nampa School District and the parent of a student at a Boise school. I've chosen to speak on this issue not as a representative of CWI, but rather as a former teacher with firsthand knowledge of the current educational system and as a concerned father of a twice exceptional child. While I would never presume to state that I have any or all of the answers to these perplexing issues, I can offer perspective and some questions for consideration that I have gathered from neighbors, colleagues, families, and friends. The first issue concerns laptops for all ninth graders and whether or not parents can opt out, or will this be a mandate? In other words, if a parent knows that their child is not responsible enough to take care of the laptop and the parent does not want to have to pay for the maintenance, do they have a choice in the matter? Also, as stated earlier, if the parent knows from past experience that their child needs a teacher and cannot succeed in an online format, can they also opt out? As we've heard earlier, those examples, those are relevant things to bring up for people and concerns. Will they have a choice, or will this be mandated to the parents? Secondly, we all must look at the reality of merit pay. In order to be fair and equitable to every teacher across the state, some type of end-of-the-year assessment will have to be created that every child in every grade level will have to take. But what will this result be compared to? To answer this, the student will most likely need a test in the first week of school to assess their current level, and then use the end-of-the-year assessment to quantify the results. How can this be accomplished when districts that neighbor each other cannot even agree upon how, when, and why to implement GATE or AP programs? Is a question very simply answered by saying that they can't. And as a result, there will be little or no chance of teachers getting paid for their performance. Will there be equity for the first grade teacher compared to the senior English teacher? Also, how will these tests be financed? Another factor to this is the students. If merit pay is attached to a test, will that test impact a student in any way? If it does not impact them, why would
1
they
minute,
perform their
please.
best? What assurances are there that they will do their best on these tests? Finally, as it relates to the class size having no impact upon student performance, I could relate story after story from personal experience concerning the ill effects of overcrowded classrooms, but rather we should let the research speak for itself. I am attaching data from 2 studies conducted in Tennessee and Texas, which illustrate the positive effects of smaller class sizes, and we'll leave those for your consideration. No, smaller classrooms alone will not fix everything, but it is an important piece of the puzzle. Before these budgetary issues are considered and mandates are laid upon the people, we all must make the time to clearly understand the issues at hand. We need clarity, conversation, and reflection in order to do truly what is right for our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Pat?